For 3,000 years we've repeated the same bedtime story. Egypt's pharaohs paraded in tidy order, dynasty 1, 2, 3, all the way to 31. Last week under a sun-baked ridge at Abydos, a crane lifted a sandstone slab and exposed a name no museum guide has ever muttered. One sealed tomb, one half-erased cartouche, and suddenly the timeline feels like a reed boat in a windstorm. If this name is who we think it is, every chart in every gallery will need an extra line, and we'll have to squeeze an entire lost dynasty between the familiar ones. We've always sensed a hiccup. The second intermediate period, around 1700 to 1550 BCE, is Egypt's historical static. Hyksos ruled the delta from avarice, Theban princes clung to the south and in between, papyrus falls silent, temples stop bragging, and the king list in Seti I's temple literally leaves a blank. Scholars nicknamed that blank the Abydos dynasty, a maybe real line of rulers who held the middle when the map cracked. Trouble was, the evidence was thinner than a reed pen stroke. Just a handful of scarabs, a couple of stray blocks, and a lot of academic shrugs. In 2014, Penn's dig team stumbled on the tomb of King Senebkai a short walk from Seti's temple. His bones were still there, but looters had shredded the painted plaster. Radiocarbon pinned his cedar coffin to 1650 BCE, smack in the blackout. Suddenly the maybe grew teeth. If a local ruler could afford a 60-ton burial chamber, who else hid under the sand? Archaeologists fired up magnetometry, hunting rectangular voids. They found more than 20. Money was the snag. Each tomb lies under 10 meters of pottery-laced sand that laughs at radar. Last winter, Egypt's Antiquities Ministry and Penn finally pooled funds to crack open the biggest blip, Tomb Abydos 2023-5. On the 12th of January 2025, they levered the roof slab and slipped in a fiber optic eye. First look, goddesses Isis and Nephthys spreading winged protection across a star-spangled ceiling. Second, a limestone sarcophagus, lid cracked by ancient robbers. Third, a cartouche, half scratched out, starting with the sun disk, Ra, and ending with a reed leaf eye. No king list carries anything close. Conservators spent 2 days teasing plaster flakes from the debris. Assembled, the cartouche spelled Ra-a-ib, a name absent from the Turin papyrus, Manetho, and Saqqara tablets. Next line, son of Ra, beloved of Wadjet, lord of the vulture land. That epithet pops up only around Abydos. Hyksos and Theban scribes never use it. Translation, we're staring at a purely local monarch, not somebody's puppet. Pottery in the stairwell, straw-tempered cooking bowls, matches layers dated 1640 to 1580 BCE. A wooden barge model gave radiocarbon results of 1635 to 1575 BCE. Right there, a new king smack between the 13th and 17th dynasties, exactly where Seti's list shrugs and leaves a gap. Sounds simple, just add a row, right? But Egyptian chronology is a Jenga tower calibrated to the stars. Every regnal year hangs on Sirius risings, lunar festivals, Nile flood records. Insert one extra generation and the celestial pegs miss their holes. That shoves every later dynasty forward, squeezes the Hyksos, stretches the new kingdom. Thera's volcanic eruption, already a dating migraine, slides into a different decade. Synchronisms with Mesopotamia hiccup and the whole ancient Near East skips a beat. Ra'ab isn't a footnote, he's the spare card that collapses the whole deck. While the lab in Sohag counted tree rings, another crew rummaged the Cairo basement and re-examined a block shelved since 1898. The fragment, found at Todd, shows A-ib inside a cartouche, once dismissed as a botched inscription. Same king, 180 kilometers south. So Ra-ib's reach stretched beyond a mayor's fence but fell short of nationwide pharaoh, perfect fit for the predicted Abydos patchwork. Meanwhile, a Hyksos seal from Tel el-Daba, redated by accelerator mass spectrometry, now overlaps Ra-ib's window. North and Middle powers ruled at the same time, not back-to-back. Textbooks must swap Hyksos, then Thebans for Hyksos up north, Thebans deep south, Abydos kings in the middle, simultaneously. Inside the chamber lay 40 model boats, a wooden squad of 200 soldiers, and a staff topped with a bronze vulture. That's not random bling, it's billboard messaging. The boats claim the river, the soldiers claim troops, the vulture claims Upper Egypt. Yet the tomb is modest, one corridor, one room, compared to Amenemhat's stone labyrinths. Ra-ib relied on symbols, not megatemples, to flex power. That suits a fractured land where budgets are tight and legitimacy is hyperlocal. Later Theban victors erased him because a smooth tale plays better than a civil war with rival playlists. The skeleton, male, 35, 40, 1.68 m, tall for the era. Femurs show longitudinal cracks, the toll of endless horseback or desert patrols. Teeth ground flat by sand-laced flour, the soldier's curse. 3 bronze arrowheads still lurk in the left shoulder blade. He died in combat, probably defending Abydos harbor from Hyksos ships or Theban scouts. Linen wrapping dates to the same narrow 1630s to 1570s BCE window, confirming he wasn't reburied decades later. Live, rule, fight, die, one concise lifetime locking the new dynasty into the timeline gap. Single tombs have rewritten the story before. 1900, Merit Ninth's inscription revealed a queen crowned king 5 centuries before Hatshepsut. 1922, Tutankhamun exploded our view of late 18th dynasty art. 2014, Senebkay proved the Abydos dynasty existed. Ra-Ib now shows it lasted longer and mattered more. Each find flips the same switch. The past is patchier, messier, and more human than the tidy lists pretend. Ra-Ib just happens to sit on the wobbliest chronological hinge where one extra monarch shifts 3 centuries. Within hours of the leak, Twitter archaeologists shredded the reading. Ra-Ib is speculative, they claim, because the falcon glyph is chipped. A German group insists the name is Ra-Wer-Ib, matching a minor 13th dynasty prince. If so, the tomb is merely a fancy provincial grave, not a new royal line. The pen crew fires back. The verb were uses a goose glyph, not the reed leaf we see here. Infrared images of plaster layers, still unpublished, will referee the brawl. Meanwhile, guards patrol the ridge day and night. Every dune now has its own Kalashnikov. Looters crave a chunk of the first completely new royal name since Tut. Picture Egypt's timeline like a playlist you thought was locked, then a new track drops mid-list. Every song after scoots back 1 slot. Hyksos shrink, New Kingdom drifts, and synchronized dates tying Egypt to Crete, Mesopotamia, even China's Shang, all slide. Next year students might recite Dynasty 16 and a half, the Abydos kings wedged between 13 and 17. Museum labels get reprinted. And every documentary claiming Hyksos ruled northern Egypt for 108 years earns a footnote, because for at least part of that span, an independent king named Ra-Ib was shouting, "Not so fast," from the middle of the Nile. We started with a blank line chiseled into a temple wall. Now we have a name, a face, and a death on the battlefield. One tomb flipped a hypothetical dynasty into hard fact and cracked a timeline we thought was bedrock. As the dig season cools, the team is already eyeing the next magnetic blip, another rectangular void 20 meters west. If its cartouche is also new, the whole playlist shifts again. So keep your ears open, the desert's still gossiping. And the next whisper could rewrite everything we thought we knew about the land of the pharaohs. If you enjoyed this journey into Egypt's lost dynasties, please like, subscribe, and share for more history mysteries.